Shalom, 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 shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Kohaloyim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachahakodash. Double honors to the elders, to the apostles that I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwath out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Brother Yawasop coming at you with a lesson, impromptu, through the Spirit. Because I did a lesson earlier in regards to, I do, like when something hit me through the Spirit, I get to speaking on it. And I made a statement that I was thinking about after, because, I did it on my lunch break. And I was thinking about the statement I made afterwards. I made a statement, which I realized was a very proud statement, you know what I mean? So, Salakia, first of all, I repented already. Jake sit up there and be like, fuck you, fuck what you think. But at the same time, truth be told, I do sometimes care what particular men think, you know what I mean? Because I believe certain particular men are spiritual men, and I understand why Jake can get offended or frustrated with me. Like I told you, at the end of the day, the way I grew up, we grew up a particular type of way. Now, the difference between pride and confidence is two different things. We gonna have confidence that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua gonna come through. Pride is, being of a low degree, but yet and still you thinking you got it. Scriptures talk about a haughty spirit. How's it go? A haughty spirit and pride come before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Roughly, that's a spirit called Elohim Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Pride come before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. There's so many scriptures that talk about pride. Proverbs 6 talks about the Most High God pretty much hates 6 things, and pride is the number one. A proud look. And then the scriptures talk about a man should not exalt himself more than he exalt himself more to more than what he really is. At the end of the day, we wouldn't have nothing. Think about if the Lord just didn't even give you the truth. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. I have really no accolades. Again, I was able to do a lot. I was talented and gifted, but at the end of the day, I didn't hone anything. I made a statement years ago about, or maybe just recently, I can't remember, but I said my gift was being a nigga. Show you how low degree of character I was. The only thing that I've done that I recognize as being worthwhile is this truth. But, I was thinking, because it was something that I wanted to say, I have a really bad memory, you know what I mean? Everything happens through the Spirit anyway. If you're supposed to say something, that's why you shouldn't try and rehearse, certain things. But at the same time, I see why Jake go over their lessons. I don't listen to my lessons, but maybe I should start, That's how proud I'm trying not to be, you know what I mean? But I was listening to a particular elder brother earlier today, and show you how spiritual all this was. I was listening to an elder brother's video today, and he was talking about, are you in the truth now? That's the title of the video. And he was going into men that once was, and was actually men of a status. If you go through Israel, you'll hear men basically praise these men, but now they're not getting any praise because there's no longer the truth. And I just made that proud ass statement, and I thought about it like, damn, that's a testament that the Lord, he could have took me out. He could take me out at any time. Again, I'm telling y'all all this personal business. If you ever haven't figured out why I do this, it's because of the fact I don't think I'm gonna be here. And we all want to leave something behind. I don't think I know I'm not on no level as the elders. Those are particularly very special spirits, just because the Lord allowed them to attain that much wisdom and knowledge. And I heard a particular elder that I know is on a far, far greater level than me, that literally said that he know that he'll never reach the level of his teachers. And I was like, damn, that's deep. I'm like way a babe in a lot of ways. I guess why I, think so, not even highly of myself. The thing is this. the Lord was with me in my testimony. You know, I believe wholeheartedly in spiritual power, left hand wickedness is going to be righteous power, spiritual power, righteousness, because, you know, we all go into, you know, the Illuminati and the left hand side and all these different things. And literally I was put in a position, you know, somebody died after my testimony. Somebody very important to me, all caught up with my testimony, all throughout my, you know, my test. You know what they say, you got to sacrifice somebody. And you know, so basically based on what I've seen and what I've been able to overcome, I guess I think of myself more highly than what I really am. I never, you know, just now when I was thinking about actually doing this video, after, because like I said, it was like 15 minutes after I did the video and I'm back to work, I thought about it. I was like, damn, what I said, you know, like, I know I play a part, which we all play parts. You know, everybody got their role. Somebody got to be the 2/3, somebody got to be the elect. You know, but my part could have been just to literally refuse that temptation in order to pretty much sever something. And that's how much detail I'm gonna give on that. The Lord is the master strategist. You know, the Lord can use the wicked to actually help the cause of the righteous, and the righteous, you know what I mean? Like, the Lord can do whatever the fuck he want. You know, it was a statement that the particular beloved elder apostle made, because he did a video about spiritual power, and he said something that I had said years ago when I was talking to a particular brother that, you know, that has something to do with my walk in a lot of ways. He said that pretty much the purpose of us getting spiritual power is to magnify the name of the Lord. And I always said that the Most High God is not going to give spiritual power to no nigga. The men that are truly humble and really the Lord's men and going to magnify him, everybody's going to know when they look at these men, they going to understand and know and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Their level of faith, their level of steadfastness. You know, you're going to see the true leaders. You know, again, I think back, I look at, you know, some of the men I met in my short walk in this. Well, I'm still in the truth, you know. You know, that's particularly another thing that the elder brother said in a video. He said, you in the truth until you not. If you called yourself a prophet and put your hand to the plow, you know, if you get lukewarm, I mean, yeah, you might slow down, but you're never supposed to be stopped. You know, because the scriptures talk about you'd rather be hot or cold, but not lukewarm, or you be spewed out. This thing requires, you know, work, you know what I mean? And the thing is, we all tired. I understand that. So I consider myself still in the truth until, you know, I'm dead. That's why I always made that statement. The Lord will kill, because he literally showed me a vision. He gonna kill me. And the thing is, I'm gonna show you this much. He never even showed me dying or killing me. I just could look at the way he looked at me. It was like, and it wasn't the Lord. It was an angel. The way he looked at me, I was so much in fear. Like I said, I couldn't even look at him, but it was weird. It was like, I knew it was me, and I knew it was an angel. The angel towering over me in pure white with a big ass afro. I'll never forget when I first came into the truth. I mean, not into the camp, but actually understanding, I went through a testimony, understanding that the Most High God, you know, because again, the Most High God introduced me to Satan before he even introduced himself. I didn't find out about the truth and the brothers in Israel until after I was tempted. But like the elder brother said, he said, you know, you're supposed to do this until you dead. And that's why the scriptures talk about any man that lay hold to the plow and look back and all these different things. You know, if you don't continue in the work, if you don't, you know, show you how cold the spirit is. You know, I get rebuked a lot. And I can imagine with men that literally, call themselves, going to do their own thing. I didn't go do my own thing. I just didn't trust myself being amongst men that I felt, again, it's so cold how Satan operate. Again, that wouldn't have been, the elder said something that fucked me up. I've been thinking about it for the last couple of days, operating in a feminine spirit because a female can't forgive. I forgave my demon so many motherfucking times, her sending me to jail for the sake of the children. I mean, I looked at the bitch like, but for the sake of the children, because I grew up without a mother. I told you, like, I didn't have a mother and now they don't have a mother. That curse is doubly strong, But it's a reason why. Like I said, I told you, I'm starting to realize why the Lord took away my children. And maybe he was always meant to give them back, or maybe I just, made my bed hard like the one particular elder said. And you got to be careful of making your bed hard. Because the thing is, once you put your hand to the plow, no matter what is before you, you're supposed to finish. Scriptures talk about in the book of Hebrews chapter 12. Run the race. Because the only way you going to receive that crown, if you of the elect, is you going to literally finish the race. So this ain't meant to be like super long. Again, I just was really, and then I didn't really even have to make, a correction or, I even say apology video. Because again, I don't like particular things men do and what Jake do. Like the spirit of pride is a trait of Esau. But at the same time, 2/3 of Jake got it. We've all seen it, and it's worse with Jake because Jake don't got shit. At least Esau's in a position of power, so yeah, of course he's supposed to, or he gonna be proud. That's his spirit. And at the end of the day, like the elder said, you supposed to magnify Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. A nigga's not gonna magnify Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And like the particular elder just made that statement, he said, long as we keeping Yahweh Shah first, you can't go wrong. And sometimes I tend to forget that. I'm not trying to be like the elder, the elder got experience. The elder, Jake wanted to hear certain things about what took place, in the One West, because that's major history, There's certain things, we all want to know. And there's certain things that we're not going to, like that one breakdown. I don't think the elder's going to ever give us that. And it's not meant to. And that's something that shows you its levels. Again, like I said, I've seen certain things in my lifetime, and I always wonder why the Lord keep on keeping me around. Why I ain't lost the spirit yet. That's the beautiful thing about the spirit. And even though I'm with me and I call Akim, the spirit's still dealing, because when I get rebuked, I hear it, I feel it. So I try to correct and pivot and correct myself. And I think about when certain elders were saying how when men basically go off and do their own thing, pretty much they start changing the doctrine, and that's one of the sure signs that they pretty much, the demons getting on them. Like I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I didn't even know I was gonna leave. I just knew the way that shit played out, that shit wasn't gonna sit right. You know what I mean? As a man. And there ain't that much motherfucking humble in the world. Well, you show me you that humble. Even I just heard an elder say that. He said the particular captain, well, I ain't gonna call, he's not my captain. That guy Tazariak, pretty much, even though you're supposed to, like, if that man is on a level, yeah, you're supposed to, respect his title, but at the same time, the elder don't even call himself a captain like that, a general or no shit like that. But I'm gonna stick to what I said. Tazariak, literally, the elder said, he said, shit, as a man, I don't see how you keep on like dealing with his platform when you literally The way he treats you, will talk to you. And I don't watch it. I watch whack. I came across that short. You know, I don't watch them motherfucking people like that. I watch shorts a lot. And I watch videos when I can, you know what I mean? Listen to videos when I can, but I watch shorts. I don't really, you know what I mean? Told you, I can't even remember the last movie I really sat down and watched. And I got like 3 movie apps on my phone. You know, I was thinking about that because, again, like I say, it's spiritual how my father, was around, but my father was a very busy man. He would be around, but not around, you know what I mean? Like, my father was the guy that everybody would call. He was the patriarch for real. Like a true patriarch, like literally everybody went to him when they needed help. And I see how weak, the generations have become because nobody could fill his shoes. I didn't start having children until after my father died. I don't even think I was meant to have children. I remember my demon told me that. She was like, I ain't gonna go into detail, but basically, it's a reason why she said that shit. These kids, now they gonna be quiet. I mean, talk about Satan so fucking busy right now. But I'm not even, the best way to defend yourself against Satan is to pray. I'm trying to have the mindset because we all wishing for the best. But at the same time, you got to understand none of us is truly worthy. It's a gift. The grace is a gift. So, I just keep on rambling, because there's so many random thoughts and so much shit going on. At the end of the day, again, I wholeheartedly believe and agree with the elder that it's going to be a very special men are going to receive them spiritual powers. In a multitude of ways, I mean special. Not just because you Nipsey Hussle special. When you go into a lot of entertainers, a lot of them entertainers are special in a lot of fucking ways. They not just the average Jakes. And to be honest, I'm average at best now. You know what I mean? The only gift that I have is this truth. Maybe to have experienced some things and I ain't bugged the fuck completely out yet. And again, like I say, I know Jake probably think I'm ape shit crazy. You know what I mean? I told you, like, literally, still, I take care of myself and some other people. And I already know, just based on paperwork, they gonna hit me with the, oh yeah, because now they can use that as an excuse of you being dangerous. Why do you think they sit up here talking about they can look at any medical records now? They can just share them. And it's a system that pretty much, like, I forgot what the name of the fucking system is, but like, you could do all your hospital appointments, everything on it. Like, it shows all your medical history. And if you go to any hospital, pretty much, like, you can act like, cause I actually did it. Like, I go to a particular hospital, I got a particular doctor, but then a female doctor. Cause like I said again, recently I found out some different information. And I've never really been to the hospital. I hate hospitals. I told you, hospitals carry a particular vibration, vibration of death. But at the end of the day, it's funny too, for a person that is depressed as I am, the only thing that gives me joy is seeing these prophecies come to pass. So I try to hold on a little bit longer, just because again, like when you take time to think about my situation, my children have nobody. That's why it's all or nothing. I don't deal with my worldly family except for my sister, and she's in states away. And my demon didn't deal with her worldly family. My demon talk about she you know what I mean? Like, I've tried to get these kids back several times. The thing is, I'm not just joking. You know, you're not about to scare the shit out of me. Oh, yeah, the kids ain't gonna eat like we just ain't gonna be fucking eating. Like the fuck? They know what they doing. Thing is, I'm not starving them. My kids, you know what I mean? So you got to understand, I literally have to, you know, the Lord got me accountable. Being that I'm the provider, they got to go to doctor's appointments. They got to do these things. So how fucking crazy am I for real? No, I'm just telling you how I feel sometimes. Maybe, sometimes it's best to not say too much of nothing. You know, G's move in silence. You know, I just would like to say again, before a person get to assuming you know me, get to really fucking know me, because none of them jakes knew me. You didn't even know, like I said, what the fuck I was homeless about. You probably thought I just smoked crack or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why do you think I had the spirit of, you know, and the thing is, I'm not always right. The Lord can do whatever he wants, but I have no, what's the word? No disillusion of thinking that I deserve to be saved. You know what I mean? Now it'd be beautiful if I'm other elect. You know, all the elect, you know, all the elect is not gonna have to give up the ghost. Some of the elect are. And the thing is, if you ever put in that position as the elect man, you're gonna be able to deal with it. The Lord gonna put a spirit on you to be able to deal with it. That's why the elder made that video about oh my God, this stupid ass nigga. Learn to die. This nigga just, oh my God, that's the Lord just really just did. Call lawyer like y'all about should be all shut. Oh man, I need to go take these brake pads back and go. There's so much little shit coming up too. They said I was trying to wait. I might have to do this more sooner. Nigga he ain't even try. He gonna try a turn. Man, and niggas is stupid because you don't know the condition of nobody's car or nothing. You just assuming that your car run decent, so everybody's car run decent. Like, everybody take it. Call lawyer like y'all about Shemel shot. I just lost train of thought with that bullshit. That probably was a spirit. I remember, what was that? One Passover. Was it Passover? It was either Passover or no, it was New Year's Eve. It was because we did the New Year Eve lesson, New Year Eve of Doom, and we was at the one particular elder brother's house, and when he stayed where he stayed at before he moved, and pretty much we brought our kids. Like, I would bring my kids, you know, because them was the only children my children would be around, and pretty much oh shit. Pretty much a car, like, we was drinking, so you know, it's New Year's Eve. Somebody was drinking, and I'm riding on the right side of the street, and the motherfucking car just literally damn near swerved and hit me. Like, we both about to pass, and as soon as we about to pass, motherfucker swerved right into my lane, and just through the grace and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, I was able to control the car and move it out the way just in time. So Satan be busy, man. You know, that's why the elder brother was saying, you know, throw up them prayers before you leave the house and all that, because you don't know what the Lord has in store for you, you know, set up through the Spirit. You know, again, we're going to be constantly being tested until, you know, we deliver. So, again, I'm about to end the lesson because there's some shit going on now. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Kol Loyim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and to the apostles that I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth. pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah, Muwath Lababah.